Hello everybody, welcome. Welcome. I'm really glad that I made it here. It has been a very long day, and it has been also a day of traveling. We've been up since very, very early, and I was then struggling to find a signal for my cell phone to work so that I could do this training. But I'm really glad that I made it and that I found a space where I can have some connection, because I really want to honor the commitment I made to you guys to do these trainings every week. So I'm looking forward to unplugging right after this, but I'm also really looking forward to sharing with you these 5 common mistakes that I see a lot of people make when it comes to interior design. So of course, by now you've seen that we've talked about sacred interior and like the inner design and the energetic sort of, ways in which we can see our home, the meaning of a sacred home, and then also all the different sort of inner work that I'm very much about in terms of being the foundation for a sacred home. But in terms of aesthetics and in terms of like all those sort of tangible aspects of design that we love and that we're very attracted to and that we get to share with our families and our friends and all of that kind of good stuff is what I'm here to talk to you about. So those 5 mistakes are, again, the most common. There's many that I have seen over the years. But these are really the most common and the ones that can make the most impact and the most difference to your home if you're currently like redecorating or designing, or if you're just kind of like this do-it-yourself kind of gal and want to always learn about this kind of stuff. So I hope that this is helpful. So the 5 mistakes. The first one is not having a plan, not having a design. So a lot of times people go to shop just for things that they like. They just go without any real blueprint of what they're doing. And I don't mean blueprint in terms of professional drawings, but at least, an idea of dimensions, space, how much does your space measure? Having an idea ahead of time is very, very important. What is the function of your room? That kind of stuff is important to know what it is that you need to shop for. Because if not, what happens is we buy all these really nice things, but we're not able to really know where to put them. And then we end up with having more clutter and more stuff to store, etc. So that's kind of like the first mistake that I see. And then the second part is really small pieces, like the scale of furniture or the scale of design decorating pieces isn't appropriate or proportionate to the space. And so it's important to really recognize that sometimes we're very drawn to buying a bunch of smaller things because it satisfies this sort of more is better idea that we have sometimes in our heads. I don't know exactly what goes through our heads at that time, but I will tell you that the best way to do it is to go with less. So investing in bigger pieces is something that I see my clients be afraid of a lot of times, or friends or people that I help with their home. They don't want to spend on the bigger pieces. They rather spend a bunch of money on the smaller pieces, on the knickknacks, on the smaller tables, smaller sofas, smaller consoles, smaller nightstands, the smaller chandelier. But if you want to create a statement and if you want to create a more professional looking interior design space, the trick is to go larger in terms of scale. So don't think that it means you have to spend thousands. I'm a very big advocate of consignment stores and OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace and all that kind of stuff. You could totally find really great pieces in those places for very little money. But I would always urge on the side of less is more, and bigger, especially for the main pieces, the main furniture pieces and the main decorating pieces, is better than a bunch of knickknacks. So that would be mistake number 2. Mistake number 3, lighting. It's a big one. I see most people have the following mistakes in lighting. They either have only one source of lighting. That's if there's any source of lighting at all, because I know a lot of new constructions and stuff, they're very stingy with the way that they add lighting and electrical to their places. So having only one source of light. So if you have a room where you only have overhead lighting, or you only have a table lamp, or you only have a floor lamp, that's not enough lighting. Lighting needs to be layered. There needs to be more than just one source of lighting. That's very important. And then the other mistake I see a lot of people make is that they have a lot of different color temperatures in their lighting. I worked as a lighting designer, and I really learned so many things about lighting that I did not learn in interior design. And so I love working with lighting as an art. Hold on, I have my baby here. Oh, you found a feather. Very cute. So lighting is important as far as having different sources of lighting in each room, having a few different layers of lighting, and then also making sure that the color temperature of your light bulbs all match. You'll see a lot in when you purchase bulbs, they go anywhere from 3,000 K to 5,000 K, and really all that means is the color temperature, so the color of the light. So the 3,000 is going to be like your more natural light, your yellow light, and then the 5,000 is more of like this really bright white light. I don't suggest that light for residential spaces, but a lot of people, the biggest mistake they make is they mix them up. So you might have a bulb in 5K over here with the bright light, cool white light, and then you might have an amber retro bulb somewhere else. And while sometimes you need to do that to create different moods and different energies for the rooms and sort of ambiance for different rooms, in general, you want to make sure the color temperatures match so that you can have a cohesive space, okay? So that's super important. Mistake number 4 is having too many gallery walls. I know that if you have been on Pinterest and if that's something you like, chances are you have seen gallery walls galore. And it is the most common mistake I see. Too many gallery walls. It's kind of like everything is fighting for attention and everything that you have in the walls is asking for you to look at it. It's like having a bunch of kids, look at me, mommy, look at me, no, look at me, no, look at me. It's kind of weird and overwhelming sometimes. So I really want to point that out because I know that that's something that a lot of you might have currently. And the rule for that is the same as furniture. Less is more in terms of scale. So have a bigger piece replace a bunch of smaller pieces, and then focus on one area of the room to be the one that calls attention. Not doing gallery walls everywhere in the house because it's too distracting, and then you're really losing the focus on what it is that you want to showcase. So you're not really creating beauty everywhere. You're just kind of like creating more clutter is how I see it. So that's a good one. And then the last design mistake that I see a ton is also having too many like matchy kind of furnishings, like sets that all look the same, or matchy color schemes all around. So that's something that to me lacks personality. And sometimes it's okay to work with a monochromatic tone color palette because that's the style we're going for, and I love that. If you know my masterclass already, and if you have known some of my design choices by now, I love white on white and like light and grays. I love that in general, but I also love color. I love living with color. It's like so important to me. But most importantly, when you're designing your space, I always say this should be about, your home should be about telling your story, not about telling you mine. So it's important to go beyond trends. And what happens is when we have all these matchy pieces, usually is because you saw them in a catalog and they look really good in the catalog, and then you buy them, not knowing that you're just not adding personality to your room in the way that you could potentially be able to. So that is something to keep in mind. Of course, having symmetry is important in some cases, depending on what the style you're going for. And that's where having the plan ahead of time is so important. What kind of energy do you want to awaken in your home? What kind of vibes do you want to have? What's the style you're looking for? Even though style is usually one of the last questions I ask, if I even ask it at all. Most of the times I just get to see some of it through inspirational pictures that people send me of what they like, and then I can gather the common pieces of what they like and sort of create the style that they want to have. But I rarely label someone into one style, because I don't personally believe in that. But yeah, adding personality to your space is really important. So mixing and matching different pieces, different eras of design. If you have traditional pieces that you mix with modern pieces, I love doing that. If you have eclectic pieces that you want to mix with maybe some more industrial pieces. So be creative. And this is where having that design ahead is important, and having that knowing of how you want your space to feel is also very important. So there you have it. Those are the 5 common mistakes I have seen people make as far as interior design goes. I hope that you guys can get something out of it. I hope that you guys can work with that if you're just like in the process of moving stuff around. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to answer. If you send me a picture asking me, is this the right size? Does this seem like a good fit? Do these 2 things match? Ask away. I don't charge for this. I love doing this. I love serving you. I love helping you. I love helping you shift in small, doable ways the space of your home and what it looks like and what it feels like, especially because if you're here and you're interested in having a sacred home, I honor you, and I'm grateful that you have a different alternative view of what design can potentially be for your home and for your life and for your family. So I hear my kiddos over there. It's time for bedtime because we have a change of schedule here. We're 2 hours later than what it is here. So yeah, we're tired. So anyhow, I'm going to go unplug. I won't see you for about a week or so, but send me those pictures that as soon as I get a chance, I'll check them, even if it's on my way back home, and I'll answer you as soon as I'm able. But still just share them and ask, because I would love to help you with that. And I hope you guys have a great day. I am looking forward to my nature adventure in Colorado with my kiddos and my friends. And I will see you guys very soon. Sat down.